Hello and welcome. So in this video I want to address the Feynman Technique, which I wrote an article of recently. I thought it would be best if I made a video on it as well. So before we get into what the Feynman Technique is and how it works, I'd like to go into details about who Mr. Richard Feynman was as a person. So first and foremost, Richard Phillips Feynman was an American theoretical physicist. He received a Nobel Prize in Physics in 1965, and he was named one of the 10 greatest physicists of all time. And he was also an author of multiple books. And you don't get that without being able to learn quite quickly and quite well. And that's why the Feynman Technique has been popularized so much, because it's really, really good. Alright, so let's get to the meat of this video, which is using the Feynman Technique. So there are 4 steps to the application and usage of this technique. The first step is to naming the subject that you're trying to learn. Just write it on the top of the page, that's fine. Right, so the second step is explaining it. So you're going to be writing a small paragraph that explains the topic. And this explanation should be so simple that someone with little to no knowledge of this topic can understand it. Using simple analogies and metaphors works really well here. And the reason why you're doing that is to understand where your gaps are in your understanding of the subject. Okay, so the first step here is to review. The first step of reviewing is when you understand where your gaps lie in this subject, you're going to be going back and reviewing what it is you don't understand. And you're going to be reviewing from your textbook, for example, or wherever else that you're getting the information from. Right. Okay, so the fourth step is repeating it. So now that you've done steps 2 and 3, you just do them again until your explanation is satisfying and until it fulfills the requirements, which is that you understand it completely. So you're not sitting thinking about something for too long. You can just explain it kind of in flowingly. So how does this actually work? As in, why does it work? Well, when you're trying to explain the subject in your own words, it'll be almost impossible if you don't understand the topic fully. So what happens is that you're going to start deciding the textbook almost word for word, which means that you've found a gap in your understanding. So until you can explain the subject in your own words, you don't understand it well enough. So to round off this video, I want to give my thoughts on the Feynman Technique and my experiences with it. And the reason why I'm doing that is that I can't really endorse something unless I've tried it myself. That's my philosophy on blogging and or writing for you all and making these videos and podcasts. So I use the technique while studying. I'm currently studying as a software engineer, so it really helps me understand the subjects that we're undergoing. So I found that asking myself questions like, what does this mean? Or what could be an example of this? Or what happens if I change this variable? And the reason why I ask myself those questions are if I'm doing it as if someone were asking me those questions. And like I said, the reason why I'm doing that is to really find the gaps in my own knowledge. And to illustrate what I'm saying, I'm putting an image on the screen of my notes on number theory. It's really taken out of context, but because of the whole page is really too long to include in the video. And it would take a lot of explaining, so I'm not taking the whole page, but it illustrates what I use the Feynman Technique for in my number theory notes. I use it in a lot of different ways, but this is one of the better examples. So as a last note in this video, I want to endorse the Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman book, as well as his 6 Easy Pieces, which I'm going to link in the description below. I honestly loved reading these books so much. They were, well, the biography that he wrote, so Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, is incredibly entertaining, which is surprising coming from he's a physicist, so he's really quite the character. But I want to thank you for watching. please make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content in the future. I enjoy making this kind of content, and I'm actually working on a large studying guide where I'm going through every technique of studying and every tip and trick there is in the book, and a lot more. I'm fleshing it out as I go, and I'm still in the beginning phases of it, but I think it'll really be great. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.